Hi, my name is Dan Cazzetto. I'm the offensive line coach at the University of Washington. And what you'll see on this video today are everyday drills that I will do to develop offensive linemen, both in the run blocking phase and in the pass blocking phase. Okay, this first drill that you're observing is just a get-off drill. The lineman will fit up into the pads. What I'm looking for is flat back, low pad level obviously, tight hands, and working on staying off of their toes, constituting keeping their feet into the ground. They take the man with the bag totally off the board, and then to add to a little bit more of a drill, I'll put them in a situation where they'll move with the pad either to the right or to the left. This next phase of this drill is called a step to fit, where now the player will be working on his first two steps of get off and end up in a fit position to the bag. What we want to do is bring our eyes and hands into the bag simultaneously and take a look at how fast their feet are getting down with their lead step and power step. Then we'll go to the next phase, which is the total get off. And we'll take the first two drills that we did, the fit drill and then the step to fit, and they'll incorporate it into the straight drive block itself. Once again, taking the pad all the way off the board, staying in constant contact with the pad, and if there's any separation, it's just a little bent arm separation. We don't want to get totally extended out on the pad. Maintaining total control of the defender. Next drill that you'll see on the boards is a hi-hat drill. We're in a situation where we'll run draw, so we'll influence coming out of a stand with a hi-hat, being able to drop our pad level down and work to take the defender off the board. This can be done straight up on the board. You can also offset to the right, to the left, and come onto the board. The board's there for a purpose of keeping the feet apart. So we've incorporated more of a heavy emphasis on tight hands. So we've taken a medicine ball. We'll line the defender either on the board or slightly off where he comes onto the board. The offensive lineman will now go through his hi-hat progression, work on coming into the medicine ball, and work up through the defender. You can also incorporate this as far as your straight ahead drive block, working on maintaining good low pad level, getting your hands inside, and getting the lift action, which will bring the hips and accelerate the feet in order to take the man off the board. This next drill we're going to come on the board at an angle, people that run outside zones, so we work on coming onto the board, working our hands tight into the medicine ball, which will bring our hips, taking him all the way off. We do it both right and going to our both right and left. The next phase is we're going to work on our surge. We're going to come off together. So both athletes will step with their inside foot, come together on a pad, and work on coming off on a linebacker that is at the next level. So the man starts directly in the gap. We'll end up taking the pad off the board. We'll end up taking that man on our angle in order to block the linebacker. We call this a combo drill. Basically the same combos that you work with a tight end tackle, you can also work the same combinations with a guard tackle, center guard. As we break this down and we've gone through the 3 or 4 drills as far as getting us ready to more of a team takeoff or a unit takeoff, where we're going to go through assignments. So this is what we call timing and assignment drill, where we'll target a couple different defenses and be able to run the plays that we have for the day in. We go on to the pass segment now. We're going to concentrate here on the punch, where our athlete now is going to work on moving laterally, timing of the hands, making sure that the elbows are tight inside. We talk about loading up the lats. Want to maintain good posture, our head back. As the athlete approaches the bag, the defender now moves into the offender, and he punches it off, which we call jamming the bag. This next phase is paired up. Two players are paired up. One is on defense, one is on offense. And we're going to work what we call a back pad drill. The defender's going to try to grab our back shoulder pad and try to swim over the top. On the offender's movement, the defender moves, and we're going to work on as fast as we can punching this defender off. We can incorporate different types of pass rush moves, whether it's a swim move, whether it's a rip move, arm under move. We can also bring the defender back so that the offender has to mirror back off of maybe a spin, okay, or a counter move by the defender. Whole emphasis here is that the offensive man gets out of his stance, gets his hands on the defender, and reacts. We go into a team segment where we're going to take everybody involved. Quarterbacks, for the most part, are out of this drill, but offensive linemen, tight ends, receivers, and obviously we have running backs in this drill. This is called the gauntlet drill. And what we do here, we have three phases. We have an offensive lineman going against a defensive lineman. We have a tight end at the next level and or a receiver going against a linebacker. And up on top, we have a wide receiver now going against a defensive backs and or safety. As the ball's snapped, we have two pylons that will simulate a chute that the runner has to go through. If he gets through the first phase, now he goes to the second phase, which is a tight end normally blocking a linebacker. His ultimate goal is to get into the secondary and beat the defender that the receiver's blocking to the goal line. So there's three phases here. You have the line of scrimmage, you have the second level, and then you have the open field. Obviously, as you observe, you can see the chute that's sectioned off by two bags. And then as the runner proceeds into the drill, you can see how the cones are set up so that he can't just run all over the place. So he has a constricted area in which to operate. These are things that you can take a look at as far as our pad level coming off, getting our second step in the ground, finishing blocks. We call it a character building drill. The next one that we spend the most time on, especially from the pass blocking phase, is what we call our pass rush drill. In this drill, what we do is we force each offensive lineman to set. And I will point to who the defensive lineman is that is hot. The coach that you see on the video will give a snap count, which I will call, and it forces us now. Every offensive lineman has to set because they don't know which defender is live. We'll use a manager here or another player to catch the ball to simulate a quarterback's drop so that the defensive lineman has a reference point as to where he's got to get to as far as where the quarterback is at. This by far is probably tells the truth as far as where you're at as far as a pass blocker. We can also use this drill to work against line games where we ask our defensive linemen to go half line with us. They can give us a tackle end game, an end tackle game, or any type of three-man game. And so we can both service each other in a lot of different ways. We can work on being able to punch off and come back on a looping defender, which happens in long yardage situations. In closing, these are a few of the drills that we'll do every day. I hope this is helpful in the development of your offensive line. Thank you.